Welcome everyone to part 2 of our sports race slash long hurdles tutorial in Python. Last time we left off, I was having a little bit of a socket error, and so I reran it and it seemed to work fine. And now you notice that it went through the intro, the countdown, the gun went off, and now it jumped each hurdle, and we set a 20% chance that they would make the hurdle. This person, or this time through the race, the first 3 hurdles were missed, then 1 was made, then 1 was missed, and then 3 more were made. So they missed a total of 4 and made 4 others because we have 8 hurdles total. Alright, so after we leap the number of hurdles, then we want to, we can do a conclusion to the race. And so we say something like def conclusion. Well, let's just write it in. So after we'll say print, you run toward the finish line. And then what if we wanted to have the person run another race, or provide the option that the user wants to run the race again? So now we need a while loop. So in our main, we will add a while loop, and we'll set the answer equal to yes, and then we'll while answer in yes. As long as someone types in yes, we will run the race again. So we need to indent this information. We'll do edit, format indent. And then we need to, after the race is run, we need to ask them the question. So let's say answer is equal to raw input. Would you like to run another race? Alright, so let's make sure our while loop is working. And I'll say yes for the first time, and it runs the loop again. And the second time I'll say no, and it exits the loop. So that's working fine. Other functionality that we might add would be that maybe we want to keep score. Each hurdle that the person makes counts for a point. So let's do that. Alright, so the first thing when the game begins, we'll need to set the person's score to 0. So we'll say score is equal to 0. And then we will need to pass that variable into our leap hurdle. So right now here score is equal to 0. So now we go up to leap hurdle, and we still need to pass in score. And then we're going to choose a number, and if it's less than or equal to 2, they missed the hurdle, else they made the hurdle. So it's down here where they make the hurdle that we want to add to their score. So we'll say score is equal to score plus 1. So each time it's added, 1 is added to the score. So we set the score to 0 once again. We pass the score into as a parameter into leap hurdle. It goes up here. We call a random number to see if they missed or made the hurdle. And if they make the hurdle, now it's 0 plus 1. So now score is 1. So when we're finished, then we need to return the score. And we will need to set that reset that to the score variable. So we'll say score is equal to leap hurdle score. We return the score, so basically we're saying each time that score is equal to score. So if they made the hurdle, then we add 1, and then now score becomes 1. And the second time through the loop, we pass in score, so now score is 1. We decide if they made the hurdle, so let's say they made the hurdle. So now it's 1 plus 1, score is equal to 2, score is returned, and so now score is 2. We go through the loop again, score is now 2. We go up to the leap hurdle. We decide that they leaped the hurdle and made it, so now 2 plus 1 is 3, so we return 3. So this is going to keep adding to the person's score. And then all we have to do in the end is print out their final score. So we'll say print your final score is plus score. All right, let's run and see if we get what we want. We'll go through the intro, the countdown, the gun goes off. Oh, and it says we cannot concatenate a string and an integer. So that's an easy fix. Right down here where we want to print it out, we just say we cast the score as a string object. And also up here, it reminds me, we want to make sure this score is an integer. So we'll cast this score as an int. Now let's run it and see if we get the right result. And there it runs through, and it made the first 3, missed 1, made the next 4. So our score is 7. And would you like to run a race? And we'll say no. Alright, so the next development could be keeping track of 2 different runners and then comparing each one of their scores in the final result. And we will do this in the next part. See you then.